there, friends. Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and Ling and I are here today to talk to you about a book that we think is absolutely wonderful. It's charming, it's sweet, it's fun, and it is a really cool mystery to try to solve. So hopefully once we are done talking about this book, it is going to be something that you are going to be really hyped to read as well. So the book that we are talking about today is actually called The Lost Library, and this is by Rebecca Stead and Wendy Moss. The Lost Library. So you can already kind of tell from this cover, which is one of the things that really drew me in here, that there's a lot going on, right? There's like books up here, there's like this ghostly mist at the bottom, this kind of like apparition of a house behind this kid, this really cool floofy cat, little mouse with a key, some documents floating around up here. And you can tell that you are in for a really fun story. Now, that's the one thing that drew me in was this cover. I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to find out what this book is about. But of course, the other thing is reading the title, The Lost Library. Anytime there is a book about books or a book about a library, I am a huge sucker for that. So I have to read it immediately. And I'm really, really glad I took a chance on this and did, because it's wonderful. I mean, look at this dedication. For the librarians of the past, present, and future. That's just lovely, isn't it? But the other thing about this book is it's very small. It's a very short book. It's barely 200 pages. And it's a small book when you compare it to, you know, something that's a regular size book. So even with it being pretty small and short, it packs a fabulous story. So what is that story? Well, like I said before, this book is primarily a mystery, but it's also just a really feel-good book. It's a book about community, a lot about community, about family and friendship, but mostly just being true to yourself and knowing who you are, finding your tribe, finding the things that interest you in life and pursuing them. So the story all starts when a mysterious little free library appears in the town of Martinville one day. Nobody knows where it came from, nobody knows what it's doing there, but it's filled with books. And one of the protagonists, one of the narrators of this story is a young boy named Evan. He's 11 years old, and he comes across this little free library. So if you don't know what a little free library is, you may have seen them in your town or community. They're basically these little, it's like a little mailbox almost. It's like this little box on a pillar. It can be anywhere, and it's filled with books, free books. And basically you can take one with you when you come across it. If you come across it, you can leave a book there. So it's like you take a book, you leave a book. If you don't have a book with you at the time to put back, that's okay. You can come back next time and do that. So it's just basically exactly what it says. It's a little free library. It's a little tiny thing in the community for people to exchange books. Well, in this little town of Martinville, there is no actual library. Why is that? Well, we'll get to that in a minute, but there is no regular library. So this little free library is the only thing that these people have all of a sudden. So Evan is really excited. He takes a couple books by chance, just grabs the two in there. And these books change the trajectory of his life, and not only his life, but of the community and the town he lives in too. Because once he starts reading these two books, he discovers that there is an event that happened in their town many, many years ago that none of the grown-ups will talk about. It does involve the library. So because of that, there's this big mystery that Evan and his best friend Rafe have to solve, which is what happened to the library? Why was there never another one built? And why are the grown-ups so weird about it? Why is nobody talking about this? Well, as the days pass, more and more books appear at this little free library, and once it's full, there are containers now on the ground filled with books. And it just goes to show that the people in this community really need a library, an actual big library, not only because of the books that they want to exchange back and forth, but because of the connections that people make with libraries, because that's really the main thing about libraries, right? Of course the books are important. I'm going to be the first person to tell you that, right? But the most important thing about a library is not the books. The most important thing about the library is the sense of community that you get and the connections that you make while you're in there. So this is the thing that the town is rediscovering with this little free library. Now, one other thing I want to mention about this book, which is really cool. So it's told by 3 different perspectives. So there's Evan, the first one, right, who I was talking about, the little boy who, you know, is really not understanding what's going on. None of the grown-ups in his life or his parents will talk to him about this thing that happened way back in the day. But there's also 2 other people narrating. There is a big fluffy orange cat, right, who was there on the day that the really bad thing happened. And there is a ghost librarian named Al. What, a ghost librarian? Are you kidding me? How cool is that? Yes, I loved her so much. And she was also there during the event that happened way back in the day. So the chapters alternate between these 3 points of view until altogether they, at the end, they all come together to form this big narrative and you get the entire picture. Wow, that's a lot happening in a book that is just about 200 pages, right? So if you love mystery stories, if you love stories that just make you feel really good inside, if you love stories about books and libraries, if you love stories about ghosts or cats, there's just so much here to love about this book. I just absolutely adored it. Like I said, I picked it up because of the cover and because of the title, and I was immediately hooked and sold on it. I love it so much. This is a book for everyone to enjoy. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. The Lost Library. Well, that's what we've got for you guys today. I hope that this book sounds really fun and awesome and that you're super excited to try it out and figure out what the mystery is with this library and this ghost librarian and the cat. If so, please feel free to check it out from Farmington Community Library. And also, please give this video a like. Thank you so much for watching, friends, and have a wonderful rest of the day.